All right. All right. It's Julian Jackson with Shane Tracy, and we are the virtual open house guys. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Northwest San Antonio living once again. So if you're curious about what San Antonio has to offer in that area, maybe you're looking for 3 to 4 bedrooms, 2 to 3 baths, starting from the 440s in the particular community we're going to be looking at today. There's easy access to Loop 1604, Highway 211. Residents can enjoy a short commute to endless shopping, dining, entertainment destinations, and all kinds of stuff. So if that's what you're looking for, then you're going to want to check out this Perry Home series offered in the Arcadia Ridge community. I know, Shane, you were just out there recently. You want to tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll jump right into the showcase.
There isn't anything that you can't get to from Arcadia Ridge. And I don't know if there's a better option than to be walking out of your own new Perry Home out of Arcadia Ridge and getting to wherever you want to in San Antonio. You've got to check it out, folks. And we are so happy to be able to present this to you.
Absolutely. Once again, we're the virtual open house guys. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe and share our channel, then be sure to take that opportunity when you get a chance. All right. Well, obviously, every time we do this, we want to introduce to everyone that there's new programs out there that make it easier for San Antonio residents and home buyers to become homeowners. In a lot of cases, you're going to find it will be as much as maybe 1 month's rent that you're going to be coming up with to move into some of these homes versus having to move into a rental. And if you're curious what that looks like, maybe take our 30-second quiz to see if you qualify. There's a quiz link in the description. And ultimately, our goal overall is to save our buyers thousands of dollars, not just upfront, but over time. And how serious are we about that, Shane?
So serious that we actually have some great insight into being able to get homes that you may not even be aware of, but we'll get to that later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, overall, what we're going to do is talk about Perry Homes, the San Antonio map. You see that mistake up there, but we'll clear that up when signing with us. We'll talk about that. New home buyer agency requirements, free resources for attendees, and get into the incentives. Again, we have our best fit financing quiz for you guys, and we'll make sure we get you guys access to that so you can sign up, share, and like and subscribe. All right. Now, what can you tell us about this particular home and this series out there, Shane?
So this is the 45-foot series. And so when you hear 45-foot, 50-foot, 60-foot, it's the width of the lot itself. So that is also going to determine more than likely how wide the actual home could be. And so in this case, they offer the 45-foot and the 50-foot. This particular floor plan is a single story, just under 2,000 square feet. In fact, that whole series, you can go up to 2,600 square feet. One story. There's one story.
Hey, Arcadia Ridge is.
Yep.
Okay.
So
absolutely. So this is the one story we're about to take a look at, and it looks like you got some pretty good footage out there.
Yeah, let's check it out. Well, while we're waiting on that, folks, what you're going to be able to expect in that community.
All right, I'll go ahead and get it going.
Okay.
Is a place to be. Welcome to Arcadia. Experience top-notch living quality schools with a community pool, playground, regularly scheduled food trucks, and 1.5 miles of multi-use trails along the beautifully landscaped boulevard. The school system, Northside Independent School District, is a very sought-after school district that includes Wernley Elementary School, which is actually located within the community. And don't worry, you're going to be just a few minutes away from shopping, groceries, and restaurants like Costco, H-E-B, the Olive Garden, Chili's, TJ Maxx, and PetSmart. You'll enjoy living in Arcadia Ridge. We're back out here today checking out Perry Homes. This is Shane Tracy, your real estate professional for life. And before I forget, If you're new to our channel, please like and share this video, and go ahead and subscribe so you can get the very best information about new homes, about how to buy, how to sell, what to do, what not to do, and all the in-betweens. That's what we're here to do, is educate our clients and make sure you're in the best hands. So today behind us is the 45-foot product. This goes all the way up to 2,600 square feet of living area in these homes, 1-story and 2-story. And if you're not familiar with Perry Homes, believe me, you're going to have a smile on your face when you check out what is on the inside. So let's go ahead and check out what you can have here in San Antonio. Just let me know. This model home is the 1984 W floor plan. This 1-story, 1,984 square foot home sports 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, a 2-car garage, along with a home office with French doors set at the entry with an 11-foot ceiling. The open kitchen offers a center aisle, a peninsula area, corner walk-in pantry. The private primary suite includes a wall of windows. This home also comes with a covered backyard patio, and there's a mudroom off the 2-car garage. Enjoy the home. Hey, thanks for joining us for another awesome video. Before I forget, go ahead. You're going to find it right about here. You'll have my contact information. Go ahead and call, text with any questions you may have about this builder or any other builder that we are going to show you. Believe me, we are the specialists here at Good to Go Realty to make sure that you are guided through each and every step to home ownership, making sure that we're finding the right home for you. And we understand you have unique needs and situations. And believe me, we are listening and wanting to make sure that we get you through each of those unique steps to home, whether it is federal student loan debt, you need to get that lowered. You want to use your VA home loan benefits. You have a down payment assistance need that we can find a solution for. Whatever it may be, just know Good to Go Realty is your new home solution. I cannot stress it enough. So go ahead and give me a call, text, and we will walk you through each and every scenario, making sure that we're getting you in the right home that fits your lifestyle, that fits your budget, and that fits the right side of town just for you. Have a great day.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can.
All right, Shane.
Sorry, I was just going to say it's amazing what you can do with just under 2,000 square feet. That was 1984 square feet, and that is such a beautiful home. As you could see, totally different areas within the home that you and your family would absolutely love. What a great home.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize just exactly what you pointed out. Like there's so many incentives, and we're going to get into that. So many benefits to buying new homes. And guess what? The discussion that a lot of people have, especially if they haven't seen the new home market in a while, they think, well, back in the day, homes were just built better. And that is far from the case. Wouldn't you agree, Shane?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, there are homes that are built well back in the day, of course, but now we talk about energy efficiency. We talk about the way they design these homes. A lot of the things that they've created in factories now will last and stand up and hold up against any of these homes in the past. But one of the things we wanted to talk about is where is this particular community located? So on the map here, Shane, you want to walk us through where is this particular community? We know it's on the far west side.
Far west side, if you go down to Highway 90, and you're just going to go up 211 just a little ways and to your right.
All right.
Yeah, just right around there, folks, off of Petranco Road. If you're not familiar with San Antonio, this is there's lots of conveniences right there, new conveniences that I know that we know that you're going to really enjoy and appreciate.
Absolutely. And if you're not familiar with San Antonio at all, or you're just kind of getting acquainted with it because maybe you're relocating, we always like to take the time to show you what San Antonio looks like overall. So the easiest way to describe San Antonio, there's an inner and outer loop. The inner loop is 410. The outer loop is 1604. So as you're looking here, this is 410, this loop here. And then we got 1604 is the larger loop out here. Now, typically the historic homes and what you know historically about San Antonio has happened within the 410. Downtown is here. But there's also the bases that we want everyone to know about because San Antonio is considered military city USA.
Yeah.
And when people learn that, they're like, well, what does that mean? Well, there used to be like 5 or 6 different bases here. Maybe there's a couple of guard and reserve bases, but there's actually a lot of bases here. Some have just been co-located now. They call it Joint Base San Antonio. But if you want to know where these bases are located, we got Randolph over here. This is Randolph Air Force Base. Fort Sam Houston is down closer to the center of town. And then you have Lackland Air Force Base over here in the southwest. So if you're curious about where the bases will be or where you might be stationed in your military, then this is going to be very helpful. And so you learn that like living on this side of town is going to be really convenient for people that are considering living at Lackland Air Force Base. Some people actually live on this side of town and travel to Fort Sam because it's where a lot of the new builds are. They get better incentives. They look out for our veterans. And Shane can kind of walk you through, like, what are some of the benefits that veterans receive when they're finding these new build homes?
So first thing first, if you have that eligibility for VA home loan, the home loan eligibility, then first of all, you're going to be able to take advantage of 100% financing.
That's right.
And that may not be new to you. I will tell you what is new is the new increase in your actual amount that you can borrow. Okay. Right. If you have not used your VA home loan benefits right now, then there is no limit to how much you can borrow as long as you qualify. You heard that right. That is something, it's been around for a few years, but I would say most veterans active duty don't even know about it. Believe it or not, when it comes to veterans, only about 23% have taken advantage of their VA home loan benefits. Is that crazy or what? Knowing that you have the ability to get 100% financing on your home, it's incredible, and I think it's a lot of incorrect information, misnomers, and stuff like that that both Julian and I have heard many times. But the fact of the matter is, right now there is no limit. Now, if you are using your VA home loan benefits right now, let's say you bought a home for $300,000, then you would still be able to get another loan. Yes, you can get a second VA home loan, and there would be a cap up to a little over $800,000 now. Okay, so that's still a lot of home that you can get here in San Antonio. And there's not a better way to build your portfolio, right, than when it comes to real estate. And real estate here in San Antonio is going to be a whole lot better price-wise than a lot of other areas, even in 2024, going into 2025. Right, Julian?
Absolutely, especially when you're talking about a city that has close to 2 million people. So, a lot of people don't realize that it's really a large city. So when you come here, there a little bit of everything is available to you, but the prices for the homes are still very affordable in comparison. Yeah, and getting into these different loan programs, we jumped into the VA loan because that's one of our favorites, obviously because we're both veterans. But there's all these zero money down programs. You know, you got the physicians loans. For a lot of physicians, the zero down option would be better. They can sometimes end up paying less in closing costs than the amount of down payment. So even if they're working with a builder who offers these incentives for closing, and they're like, well, hey, the down payment, because this house is so expensive, would have been more than me paying my own closing costs, I'm going to use a physician's loan. So there's options when you work with realtors who actually understand the home loan programs that are available to you. And that's where me and Shane separate ourselves. A lot of the agents you talk to immediately when you talk about home loan programs, they're going to pass you off to a lender. Of course, as consumers and buyers, you're thinking, well, my God, I hardly know you. Why are you pawning me off to someone else? And we know how uncomfortable that is because that's the feedback we get from our clients on a regular basis. Like, thank you for explaining this. We know at some point we're going to have to go apply, but thank you for at least having the knowledge so that we know what we're applying for. And that's really what realtors, we should be able to do. It doesn't matter. We don't want to get deep into your income and the debt and all the other things you need to provide to a lender. But we should know or be able to explain what programs are available to you so that you can take advantage of the best fit financing options. And that's literally why we call that program our best fit financing options, because a lot of times realtors work with one lender. And if that lender doesn't have that program, you're stuck with that limitation. Whereas we work with 5, 6, 8, 10, 15, it doesn't matter. If we don't know one, we'll find one. And we're going to pick the one that makes the most sense for you, which is, again, best fit financing options. And that link is in our description. So when you're looking at the videos, make sure that you go there to take that quiz. That way we know exactly how to help you, how to better help you with one of these programs. Not just the VA, not just physicians, but the USDA loan, which is another 100% financing program. If you're looking for another 0 down or 100% financing, down payment assistance is another one. The Home Funded is one of the programs from a lender that we know. Again, it's not the same lender. We have multiple lenders. And that one is talking about gift funds from family members. And they actually have a program where they set it up on Facebook, like Home Funded or GoFundMe, and they help you come up with a down payment. Like setting up a registry for a wedding or a baby shower or something like that. They help you create these gift funds, and they will match a portion of it to help you with the down payment. So we have many, many options. And then the other thing we love about new builds is, of course, closing costs. You can get them covered by the seller of pre-owned homes, but typically they're not going to cover everything. In this market, it potentially could happen because we're more in a buyer's market right now. But the new builds almost always cover it. And when they're not covering it, then they're offering other incentives to help you out. Not to mention the incentives and rebates that we as your realtor can offer you. If for some reason these builders are offering us more commission, we are able to give back more to our clients. So the more they help put in our pockets, the more we can rebate back to you. And we're not stingy about that. There's a certain amount we have to obviously make to make a living, because we split it 4 different ways a lot of times, or 2 different ways, sometimes 3, with our broker and ourselves and whatever staff we have working for us and helping us out. But Shane, anything you want to add about these programs? I know you covered a lot about the VA, but what do you think about these builders when it comes to these programs?
Well, if you are looking at buying a home and you're also looking at keeping as much money in your pocket as possible, we have found more times than not, your best option is going to be a new home. And here in San Antonio, there are a lot of them. There's a lot of new homes. We're definitely in a market where it is just continually growing. And that's a good thing, because you also are going to have a lot more competition between the builders, and they're going to be providing a whole lot better incentives than if it were just 1 or 2 builders. And of course, with that, you're going to get that better energy efficiency. Why do we keep on bringing up energy efficiency? It's been multiple videos, and one of the reasons, there's just no way around it. We have hot summers here in San Antonio. Right. No way around that. I'm sorry if that's news to you. I'm sorry, but we have hot summers, and I talk to future homeowners that tell me that their electric bill, when they live in their apartment right now, is $400 to $500 a month.
Good Lord.
$400 to $500. I don't even know how to comprehend that. I really don't. With a new home, you're looking at even with a large home, still under probably $200 a month, unless you want it to be a deep freeze in the home or something like that. Right. But besides a deep freeze, you're going to really cut down on the cost of your energy bills, and that's just a breath of fresh air right there. And it also will help with keeping your home as cool or as warm as you want at that time. Absolutely. The other thing too, I do want to just expand on the VA home loan benefit. I know I'm saying, if you are a veteran or active duty, you should have your VA home loan benefits. But believe it or not, there are some other categories in there that you actually could be eligible. And I really recommend that you reach out to Julian and I, and we'll get down to the nuts and bolts of that. I'll give you a perfect, for instance, a surviving spouse is another category where you can take advantage of the VA home loan benefits. And I've just had some confirmation that that is an option, where other lenders are maybe saying that's not an option. we have the lenders that actually know the ins and outs of these loans because of
Absolutely.
their experience, because of their passion over and over and over again. And that's why we're able to help as many people as we do with making their dreams come true of home ownership. I just can't say enough right now. In San Antonio, you've got many different options. Perry Homes is the builder that we're highlighting right now, is a phenomenal option inside and out. And again, if you're not using your VA home loan benefits, there's not that cap of a little over 800,000. Then you can actually go beyond that if you qualify. So, Julian, I mean, would you say it's pretty hard to beat Perry Homes?
Unless you're going with a custom build from someone that may charge you twice as much, Perry's probably the top of the line. And there's a few others that would compete with Perry, but they have certain options, and we know their customer service is beyond reproach. People love Perry. People love working with their sales staff. They tend to choose people that are going to take care of you. We already know that the things that they can do to help people when other builders might not do some of those things. They're willing to go the extra mile and help you out. But yes, that's one of the reasons why we highlight Perry. We've highlighted them twice now because they will take care of our customers. They don't look for ways to get around it. They're always looking to make things better for you. And then when you add their incentives and the other things that are available, then of course Perry is one of our top choices. So.
Absolutely. And as far as their incentives right now, they're offering, and we'll probably talk about it again, but let's let the cat out of the bag here, offering 4.99 interest rate or up to $30,000 for closing cost and rate buy down. So you've got a couple different options there, but just keep that in mind when it comes to Perry.
Yeah, 4.99 and 30,000 to buy it down. All right, we'll talk a little bit about that as we go through some of the information about these home loan programs. But for anyone who doesn't know a lot about the home loan side of the house, we talked about the different types of programs, but now we're going to talk about some of the qualifications. Again, when you're working with realtors who really want to make sure they keep their clients informed, we're more like guidance counselors. We're going to educate you. We're consultants. We're advisors. We're not here to push anything at you as far as sales is concerned. So when you work with someone like Shane and I, and we're the ones who are going to go the extra mile, we specialize in helping buyers. That's one of the things that you will notice when you're working with a specialist in a certain area. They are going to have specialized knowledge that other agents don't have. And we call ourselves new build specialists for that very reason. But in order to do really well with new builds and consider yourself a new build specialist, you actually have to be an expert on pre-owned and new builds. And that's the part where people go, well, how do you know we're getting a better deal? Because we will show you. We will show you how you're getting a better deal here versus here. Now, if it turns out that your request does look more like a pre-owned home, we're not going to shy away from there. We're going to help you find that home, and we're going to continue doing just as good a job. But regardless of whether you're getting pre-owned or a new build home, you got to get a loan if you need financing. And some of the things you got to think about is like conventional. Sometimes the credit scores go down as low as 620. A lot of times they want a 680, but that's going to affect your interest rate. So the typical debt to income ratio is 50%. The typical down payment is somewhere between 1% and 20%. A lot of times when you work with conventional at 1%, it's usually an income restriction that may be like $75,000 is as high as you can go. But there are programs that are out there from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that allow us to do these things. There's different federal programs that they offer, and some of these conventional lenders will take advantage of it. Then you've already heard us talk about the VA loan. They can go down as low as a 580. And again, if you see what's at the top of this, the typical minimum. Shane and I will tell you some of our builders especially can get you down in the 550s and still get you a loan. Some of them don't even use credit scoring depending on your situation. That's why you'll see the debt to income ratios vary from 43 to 65%, because if there's other things that you're doing in the military that help you create more income, a lot of times there's money that comes from people who are overseas that doesn't necessarily show up in their income on a regular basis, like combat pay. But for that time frame, you got things that are coming in that maybe don't show up on a regular basis. Well, if someone is doing a really good job as a VA lender, they're going to work all those residuals into whatever's going on with you, and they can help you with a lot higher income based on some of the specialties you get, some of the special pay that you get. And then, of course, we already know about the zero down. USDA credit score is typically around the 640. They can go lower, but again, the interest rate might come up, and that's going to affect you. The debt to income ratio, 43%. Yes, they don't want you to have anywhere near as much debt as you might have as a veteran or in conventional scenarios. It just means that they're looking for people with lower risk profiles. So typically, the higher your credit score, the lower the risk for the lender, and the lower the credit score, the higher the risk for the lender. And they take that in consideration. So with that, again, it's a minimum of 0 down, because if you're not putting any skin in the game from their perspective, they want you to have shown that at least your credit's a certain amount and that you have lower debts, because that way they're reassured that you can more than likely make the payment. Now, things do happen, but the qualification is to get you in the house. Once that happens, then they have other ways to worry about if things happen afterwards. And then FHA, that's one of the most popular programs out there. One of the main reasons, because its credit score is 580 and the debt to income ratio goes as high as 55%. So if you get qualified for that program or approved for that program, all you need is 3.5% down. Now, a lot of times when we're talking about the home funded and some of these other programs with down payment assistance, that's the next column you see here, or the next row. Down payment assistance, 620 credit score, but that means you need help with the down payment of 3.5%. It's typically used with the FHA loan. So there's obviously no debt to income ratio, because you got to qualify for the FHA program to be able to use down payment assistance. And the only difference would be your credit score has to be at least a 620. So at that point, you'll get extra money to put toward the home, but the interest rate, again, is how they compensate for the amount of money that they're giving you. So if the interest rate is 6%, it may go up to 7%. Now, what does that mean to you overall? The higher the interest rates, then basically the higher the monthly payment if you're buying the same priced home. So if you know you got to use money for down payment, just understand that monthly payment may go higher, and you may have to lower the price of the home that you got qualified for. Or if you still like that home that you saw and you're like, no, that's the one we want, we just don't want to put any money down, then just understand the monthly payment's going to go up a bit. And that's going to be the trade-off for having to use that program. Anything you want to add, Shane?
All I can say is when it comes to all of these different types of loans and potential programs and that sort of thing that can come with it, you can get lost really quick. And I understand this. Maybe you're receiving this like getting hit in the face with a fire hose. I get it. It is a lot of information. It isn't. So with that, I'll just say it is important that you have the particular representation that can actually walk you through this and be clear that not one particular lender is going to be the expert in all of these different programs and loans. Not to say that they don't offer them, and not to say that there's not a level of competency. I'm not saying that. As far as knowing all the ins and outs, that's where we come into the picture as your trusted advisor, your representation, to be able to point you in the right direction. Certainly, at the end of the day, it's up to you on which lender you go with. I want to be clear on that. At the same time, you definitely want to have somebody in your corner when you're going for probably the largest investment of your lifetime, to make sure that you do get the best bang for your buck. And again, we're here to save you money now and down the line. And that means to keep as much money in your pocket as possible. I can't say enough, Julian, that you need somebody that knows what they're doing. You really do when it comes to delving into the home buying process, for sure.
Absolutely right. Yeah, and I think to piggyback on what you're saying, it really does boil down to, as realtors, we specialize just like lenders. And again, if you're working with a specialist, there's specialized knowledge that we're going to be able to share that you're just not going to see with everybody else. And I know you and I put a lot more time and energy into learning about these loan programs and making sure people are ready to do the right thing, or we make sure that the right thing is happening for them, no matter who they're working with. The final choice is always going to be theirs, but we want to be able to give them the kind of advice to make sure that they're getting the best protection from us, and we're protecting their interests above our own. And with that, right on cue, here's our buyer agency. If you haven't heard about the NAR settlement, well, guess what? The settlement came in, and now realtors are required, when it comes to showing homes, to get a signature before they can show you a single home. We know not all realtors are going to do that. Some are going to be shying away from this because we know a lot of consumers feel like, hey, show me what you can do first, and then I'll sign something with you. But the truth is, we're not allowed to do that. So if you're running into people that are allowing that to happen, then they're probably not doing the right thing. We just want to make sure that we show you our value. That's one of the reasons why we do what we're doing right now. That's why we're recording what we're recording. So you can see our value over 20, 30, 45 minutes or so and realize like, oh, good Lord, you guys do know stuff that everyone else doesn't know. We're telling you exactly what we can do for you. And you're able to see when some of the visual slides and everything that we show you, we know our stuff. Now, if you wanted to go challenge other realtors and say, hey, can you tell me about this or this or this based on what you hear us talking about here, you're probably going to be disappointed with quite a few realtors. And we understand that. Some are really good, some are so-so, but you got to remember, with experience creates wisdom, especially when you're looking for someone who actually cares. So Shane and I are both of the same opinion. We know people don't care how much we know until they know how much we care.
That's right.
And we hope that you guys can see how much we care about, how much energy and effort we put into creating things like this. So you guys know ahead of time, before you even meet us, that this is what we do. We're not sitting at a table in front of you with a sheet of paper trying to figure out what numbers would really look good to you while we're talking to you. No, we're sharing all that stuff ahead of time. This isn't dedicated for one person like salespeople like to do. Hey, let me offer this person a great deal because I can see their finances and maybe they're in a better position. I can rake them over the coals. Like we know realtors have a bad reputation, but the reason we're doing a lot of this is so you can see that's starting to be weeded out. This lawsuit was designed to weed out a lot of realtors who weren't doing the right thing. And now we're required to by law. So one of the things we like to do is make sure that we show you, how to get the lowest monthly payment, come up with less money to the closing table. We've explained a lot of that already, as well as how to inform you about rebates, student loan forgiveness. That's a huge program that most realtors and lenders don't even know about. We actually introduced this program to a lot of our lenders because they don't realize when it comes to like student loans, there's people who have $1,000 student loan debts. And when we offer this program to them, they come back with a $200 monthly payment and they're blown away. Now, that's probably the biggest difference we've seen. It's not always like that. Sometimes it'll be 400 down to 200 or 400 to 150 or 800 to 300, whatever the case may be. But that money that they save monthly is money that can go toward a house that they could not have afforded without this program. Now, Shane has used this program multiple times. I've used it multiple times. And Shane, what do you think of this program?
When it comes to My Education Solutions, you are not going to be disappointed from the very first phone call that you have with one of their representatives to how quickly they're going to move to get on the ball to show you what kind of money that you're going to save and to be able to finish it, have everything wrapped up with a bow, and have your letter to your lenders saying, hey, Mr. Buyer here now has less debt from the student, their federal student loans. And so that allows you to move forward in that home buying process. And let me tell you, these folks at My Education Solutions knows their stuff, and they are already well versed on working with lenders. So I'm just going to throw out to you that you may have a lender that's never heard of My Education Solutions, and
Sure.
Both Julian and I have introduced My Education Solutions to multiple lenders.
Absolutely.
They had no idea anything like this even existed. But it's again, once again, this is why we do what we do. And we are here to do the very best for you. And this is just one of those ways, by lowering your debt through My Education Solutions, and therefore allowing you to have more buying power in your dream home.
Absolutely. And then the one other scenario that I'm familiar with is that they can help you with student loan default. And a lot of times people are going, is that really possible? Well, we learned that the federal program that is offered, they put you on a 9-month payment plan and you have to stay on it for 9 months. What we learned through My Education Solutions is they have a program that they can go in. It doesn't happen for everybody, but if your scenario fits, they can go in, look at your program, and get you out of default almost instantaneously. We had one of our builder lenders literally say we look at a system called Cavers, and if it's still in there, then we can't move forward with this program. And so I reached back out to the My Education Solutions, and they were like, give it another week. They should have a letter in good standing, and it should be removed from Cavers. Reached back out to the lender. They were like, well, if it's not removed by next week with the builder, we're going to have to put the house back on the market. And sure enough, they went back in there like, you got to be kidding me. It's not there anymore. They got a letter of good standing. Your couple can move forward with this house. Now, honestly, this was a couple of years ago, but the house they bought at the time was worth $237,000. It's over 300. It moved up to over 300,000 the next year. Wow. So if they had to wait another 9 months, they couldn't have afforded that house. The interest rates also climbed up. So there was no way they would have been able to get into that home. So to have this option available, it's like having gold. I mean, it's huge. And so without knowing these things, you may not think you can get into a home. But when you're working with Shane and I, we're going to make sure that there is an option that works for you. So if it's not just student loan forgiveness, we're going to look at rent to own. And again, we talked about down payment assistance. And we have multiple programs. So we walk you through a tiered process where, depending on your scenario, how much you make, if you have certain debts, if you don't have certain debts, if you need help with student loans, if you need help with down payment, it just depends. Whatever that is, walk us through it. We don't like to tell you no. We like to tell you how. And so if we don't do anything else, we're going to put you on a game plan and walk you through it. I don't even like to work with lenders, and Shane doesn't like that either, that won't give us a game plan for our clients. If they just give us a yes or no answer, we're not likely to work with them again. It's like, no. I hear you. They can't get a house today. What would it take for them to get a house? Well, this one's going to take about 6 months. And we're like, okay, it's not, some of these lenders are like, that's horrible for us. We're like, no, we're okay with 6 months. What do you need them to do? Well, if they work on paying off this particular debt and getting this taken care of, their scores will go up a little bit and they can do this. And they might need to save a little bit of money. It means maybe not so much Starbucks and eating out over time. We had a couple that had a scenario very similar to that. Their scores went up and they stopped eating out all the time. And they came back about a month later and said, we thought it was going to take us 3 to 4 months. They came back in a month and a half, and there's like, we didn't realize how much we ate out. It was like we spent thousands of dollars because they made good money. But they were like, we eat out too much. We eat so much steak. They had 3 kids. And they were like, we go out, we eat all the time. And it took us like 3 months of just cutting back on eating out, and we had enough money for our down payment. We were like, surprisingly. But these are the kind of things we like to do to make sure people that are not sure they can move into homes have these options. Just certain little things that require a little bit of discipline, a little bit of extra knowledge, and we can move forward with this process, or at least give you a game plan. So that's the way we like to look at it. But with all that being said, if you want to go on a test drive tour with us, we'd love to take people out to show them what the home buying process looks like. Of course, we got to get signatures on a document saying that you're willing to go out with us to show you a home, and it has to be written, and we outline our compensation details. Typically, again, if the builders offer us more, we can offer more. But the first time we're out with you, we're not trying to push a home at you. We just want you to see what's available and how that works for you. And that there's no obligation to purchase. Matter of fact, we even try to encourage you to, keep your checkbook at home. Now, if you see something you really like, there's many ways for the builders that they'll send you a link later. And so you can fill this out and use a credit card to take the house off the market, stuff like that. But you're not going to be trying to write a check on the spot. None of the stuff you see in car dealerships or any of that craziness. Anything else you want to add, Shane?
I just want to add that time is of the essence. One of the things that Julian brought up was that at that there was a client that was able to purchase a home at that time, but within 12 months, the value of that home, the selling price of that home, if they were to buy it a year later, they potentially couldn't afford. So the fact of the matter is, if you are looking to buy a home, reach out to us. If you have no idea what to do next, reach out to us. With the price of homes, unfortunately, overall increasing as through time, then we want to make sure that you take advantage of as much as you can with the pricing incentives. Right now, folks, really tremendous incentives with new homes here in the San Antonio area. I can't stress that enough for sure. I'll just say, though, reach out to us. And if it's not now, okay, at least we'll start to start a journey with you and get you to that point where you can have the keys to your own beautiful home and be able to say, this is mine, and
Yep.
I don't have to move out after 12 months, right?
That's absolutely it. Yep. Yep. Be part of that American dream, and being a homeowner will literally make you feel like that dream is coming true. So with all that, what we want to do is make sure that you guys understand, like, yeah, signing with us is a little bit different than signing with other people. So when you sign with us, obviously we want to introduce you to off-market properties, pre-market properties, things that no one else is going to see, because Shane and I have access to these builders because we build a relationship with them.
Yep.
As you can see, we get to go do tours. We get to learn about their incentives. We can reach out to them in an instant. They will send information back to us because they know we're going to do something with it. A lot of people collect information from them and they never hear from them again. So they're like, well, you know, they're not going to be part of our VIP program, where Shane and I are part of pretty much every builder we work with. We're part of their VIP program because we take good care of them. They take good care of us. So we're going to be able to show you off-market properties, pre-market properties, pre-construction building. We can tell you about things that are coming that other people may not know about. If they got reduced priced incentives, we're going to show you about the incentives. And not only are we going to talk about the reduced price, but just as Shane mentioned, there's a $30,000, sometimes they call it flex money. It could be used to reduce the price of the home. It could be used to buy down the rate. It could be used to help with closing costs. So depending on what those incentives are, you're going to need someone that can explain it to you so you don't feel like you're being taken advantage of. With these rate buy downs, it can create lower monthly payments. If there's lower tax rates, and a lot of people don't know this, but depending on where you are in the city, if the tax rates are lower, and a lot of people don't realize Texas, the taxes have come down. There was a vote that came out, I guess, last year, but they've lowered these taxes quite a bit. They used to be averaging anywhere from 2 to 3%. Now they're more like 1.5 to 3%. So when you find some of these places that are 1.5 that used to be 2%, that payment is way lower than what you would expect, especially from what we're used to seeing. So even though the prices of homes have gone up, the monthly payment still may be affordable because we have these tax differences. And a lot of times that's what we talk about USDA, because they're in those communities where the taxes are lower. So now you're talking about zero money down, lower taxes, so it creates a lower monthly payment. And if you have money to buy the interest rate down on top of that, yeah, some of these payments are going to shock you. We had a couple that was thinking about spending $2,500 on a home, and when we showed them how much the incentives could help them, it lowered the house actually was $315,000. They found one for $345,000. So the $315,000 was going to cost them $2,500 and some change. The $345,000 home cost them $2,059 because the taxes were lower and the interest rate was lower, and it was through a builder. They were going to buy one pre-owned, and we showed them how to save $500 on a home that was worth $30,000 more. The crazy thing was, just 3 months later, when they moved in, the house was worth $10,000 more than when they put it under contract. So they had equity when they moved in. So that's the difference when you're working with Shane and I. When you sign with us, these are the things we can share with you. Everything from zero money down, lower to no closing costs. We've already talked about the student loan forgiveness and our credit issues. And ultimately, what are we trying to do again, Shane?
Save you money now and in the future. This is, we don't just, we're not just there until you close and, you know, where'd they go? We're going to be there even afterwards and still assist you however we can. I do want to add one thing, if I can, Julian, when it comes to those relationships that we have with builders. The last live stream we had, during that live stream, I got a text from a builder letting me know a particular home is back on the market and to let people know about it. So that's what we're talking about. Is funny as saying, while we're talking about those relationships, I get a text from one of them. So we're here to do the very best for you day in and day out, and go that extra mile in making sure that you do save as much money as possible. We've got story after story about it, believe me.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's what we're here for. Absolutely. All right. Now there's free resources out there. Once you click on the link in our description, you will see the free resources available to you. Everything from pre-listing to pre-buyer presentation, an affordability calculator, the new build test drive voucher. Again, reach out to us if for some reason you're not able to access everything in the link. Just reach out to us. There's many video courses. There's client appreciation rebate. There's home equity analysis. So if you have a home that you want to sell, in addition to being able to purchase one, All of that stuff is available. Don't think that we're not experts in the home selling process as well, because we do know that most people, when they're looking at new builds, especially something like a Perry home, they more than likely aren't first-time home buyers. And because of that, we had to specialize in being able to list homes as well. And we do get your home sold in record time and for the most money with the strategy and the marketing plan that we have. So you don't have to worry about any of that stuff when you work with us. And again, don't forget the best fit financing option quiz in the description. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe to our channel, and you'll get all the most up-to-date information and videos from that. I know Shane talked a little bit about the incentives. Anything else you want to add here?
You cannot go wrong by checking out any of the builders that we've talked about, and specifically today, Perry Homes at Arcadia Ridge, with their 45-foot series and their 50-foot series, going all the way up to, I believe, 3,600 square feet of living area. You can't go wrong with that, that's for sure. And we want to introduce you to their great staff and to talk about how they can make the most of your home buying process with buying a Perry home. We're here to do the very best. Perry Homes or any other builder, we have the relationships and we have the experience and the know-how to make this as smooth of a process as possible for you all.
Absolutely. And make sure if you're reaching out to us and you need to know more about the incentives, they do change on a regular basis. So don't think that what you're seeing here is the only thing they offer. And sometimes different builders offer different things. And if one doesn't fit you, just like Shane is saying, we can match you up with another. Either way, we're going to protect your interest above our own. And that's really our goal overall. Now, with that being said, we just want to kind of summarize here. We share with you Perry Homes, Arcadia Ridge. We showcased what the 45-foot product looks like. The 50-foot product's a little bit larger. It has a little bit more, in some cases, offer more square footage. We went over the San Antonio map, showed you where it's located, where a lot of the buildings, new builds are being done. We also talked about where the military bases are and, the overall setup of San Antonio in general. San Antonio has a lot of room to grow. So don't feel like if you move here and you hear about all these homes that are being built that they're going to run out of space. The one thing about San Antonio is we have more room to grow to the west, to the north, to the south, pretty much everywhere but east. But even in eastbound, we have we can go a whole lot further. So there's not going to ever really be a place we run out. It's just that San Antonio Metro and all surrounding areas is going to be a lot larger and incorporate a lot more of these counties that we're close to. But yes, it's not something you have to worry about. You come to San Antonio, there's plenty of room for everybody. Again, we talked about when you sign with us, the difference, the new buyer agency requirements, the free resources available to you, and all the incentives, the inventory, earnest money requirements out. We didn't mention that. So what does earnest money look like out there at Perry Homes?
So you're looking anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 more than likely, depending on if it is a inventory home or you're actually wanting to build it from the beginning. It's going to depend. And just reach out to us. We'll confirm. It may be different between communities. So let's just confirm with you once you reach out to us.
Absolutely. And again, take that quiz in the description link, and we'll be able to take a look at that and get a better idea of how we can help you and what programs and what communities are best for you. Again, we're here to save you $1,000 of money upfront and over time. That is what we try to swear by that. And if there's any way we can make that happen for you based on what your requirements are, we're going to do it. That's just what we're here for, and we make things happen. All right. Anything you want to wrap up with, Shane, before we end our session here?
I got to tell you, every time we do this, Julian, it's exciting all over again to be able to have this platform and be able to share such valuable information and have the experience and the know-how to back it up and to be able to say, hey, we are your source when it comes to buying that home in the San Antonio area. And we can say it all day, every day. I think we could talk about all this stuff for hours, right, Julian?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what we do. That's the life we live, the specialty we have. But yeah, we enjoy doing this, as often as we can. We try to do it like every other week, twice a month. But the truth is, when we're talking about these homes, we know that that's where our heart is. We're trying to make sure that we take care of the people that are looking to buy homes and not be taken advantage of. And that's why we share this information, because we want people to know ahead of time that you're in the best hands available to help you with your real estate needs.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, this is the Virtual Open House guys once again bringing you a tour of Perry Homes and Arcadia Ridge Showcase, along with all the other essential information you need to know about buying new builds, whether you're buying and selling and need help with listings, or even if you decide to go with pre-owned, we're the guys that you want to work with. Virtual Open House guys. I'm Julian Jackson once again with my business partner here, Shane Tracy, and we'll see you guys next time.
Take care, everybody.